You got it. You have your fan.
I remember today.
I'm so proud of you. Welcome to The Cup, the currently unnamed podcast where we put the real and the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt. I'm wearing one of my absolute favorite drag race winners shirts. It is Evie Oddly. I love me some Evie. And I thought I had water. I might have finished it. I don't have anything to drink, I guess. I'm out of
Oh,
water.
well, I guess that makes two of us. Hey
Hmm?
everybody. I am Lana, your resident evil diva. I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. Purr. And I too do not have anything to drink. I didn't grab anything. I just was like, let's do it. But I do have my cup mug, so that's something. And one plus one is two, which makes a panel full of cup mugs, a panel full of cup mugs. Beer, beer, beer. There we go. You can get your cup mug or any of our beautiful cup merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically here. So in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. So there are no excuses, apparently, unless you live in Brazil, and then there's some excuses with that. I don't know. But you can get your cup merch. Period. Thank you.
Well, we're making our way through the season of Drag House Rules. Still don't know how many episodes are left, but I'm starting to think it might just be 6 episodes because it sounds like production or the network might not be feeling the dailies. So I'm excited to talk about this episode. We got a surprise cameo that I wasn't expecting, but we do have some housekeeping things.
Absolutely.
Lana, can you please let everybody know what they need to do?
What you need to do, number one, is subscribe to this channel. That's the first thing you should do. If you're seeing this and you're a fan of drag race, this show, the craziness that it is, a fan of me and David, however it goes, subscribe to this channel. We are trying to get 1,000 more subscribers by the end of the year. So subscribe to this channel and you can subscribe to all of our other channels. We have 3 other channels that you could support, and we would appreciate all the support. If you're a fan of Eurovision Song Contest, we got a channel for you at the Cup ESC. If you're a fan of competition reality television, we have a channel at the Cup TV. And if you are a fan of WWE wrestling, at the Cup Ringside is the place for you. So subscribe to all those channels. We're trying to build up all of our channels so get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So go help us support all of the channels. Thank you. Also, the links will be in the description below, by the way. Also, our Patreon link is down there and our audio podcast links if you need to check us out on the go. And the Patreon if you want to see the behind the scenes things and what we're talking about when we're not talking Drag House Rules. So go check that out. A lot of fun things, early access and exclusive content on in the Patreon. So go check all of that out. And then that's that. Period.
Exactly. Well, let's go ahead and get into this episode. So, we start off things with some fallout from the whole incident with Silky. She has been rushed off to the hospital, and all of the queens are just chatting about, like, oh, what's going on with Silky, giving their thoughts, giving some opinions. I think my favorite was Tammy, though. She just
Hmm.
kind of rambles about something, and then she says, those are my thoughts on Silky. I'm devastated about the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's why they don't serve it on
Oh,
airplanes
that
anymore.
plays I'm like, what is this woman talking about? But then it was like, but those are my thoughts on Silky, just randomness, and it,
Hmm.
I love it. I love her. She's so funny to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like, casting Tammy on here was so smart because it has really made me want to go back and watch the Out TV original, The Browns, Tammy Brown's own show. Like, I'm so curious what that's like now after watching this.
I
uh,
didn't know she had one, but
yeah,
sure.
yeah, it's on Out TV. We might have to check that out. Who knows? And we see some little strat. I don't know if it was strategy or just kind of Queen's crap talking, but it seems like Juju and Laganja don't really like bitch pudding.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're talking about her as she's like walking
Walking.
around. She's like within like 10 feet of them, and they're like, we don't like her.
I mean, what's the Q for anyway? Like, it's not spelled. That's big Q. Like, I was like, I kind of enjoyed that moment too, even though I do like Miss Puddin'. I do think I like her
Mhm.
a lot,
I do too.
but yeah, they apparently they don't care for her that much.
No, I don't get it, but hopefully she can survive, because I
Right,
need to see her till the end.
right.
But we see Laganja hanging out by the pool, and she needs her Abanova. What is Abanova? I don't know. Is this a weed thing? I don't know weed stuff.
I don't know weed stuff either, so it's the
Yeah,
weed thing. We are not the ones to ask for that.
really, we're not. Like, we're probably the two worst people to ask about that on the panel. But
Absolutely.
she says, Petey, go get my Abanova. So he runs off and then comes and like brings it back. And he's running so fast that he just dives into that pool.
Trips falls into the pool, but those the Avenova though. But she caught that.
She's like,
But
well, let's try. It's good. I'm good to go. And
and,
then Petey, did you notice this? Petey, on his way out of the pool, he like goes the long way back. I'm like, you could have gone to the side that was right there and just got, but no, he's like, I'm swimming all the way back.
and then going through the jacuzzi tub part. Like, okay, okay,
Mhm.
love it.
Yeah. And then this next part, I'm like, did I misunderstand? We saw Claymore in a closet and he
Hmm.
was talking on the phone. I could have sworn he was talking to his mom.
No, I thought he was talking to the
Well,
producers.
I figured that out later on, but the way he was talking, I don't know why. I was like, oh, he's talking to his mom and trying to convince her that it's going to be a great show. It's going well despite the dailies.
Hmm. Hmm.
But maybe I just thought maybe production is his mom.
Maybe production. Maybe he owes his mom money, and she's production, and she wants her money back. He's like, no, this is going good. Like maybe,
Hmm.
maybe it's both. We'll see.
We'll see.
All will be revealed.
That's what they say. But he comes on out of the closet after he finishes the call. And I know you probably appreciated this, but he starts talking to Laganja and he's like, hey, Laganja, it sounds like everybody really hates Manila. Yeah, like they really hate her. And we should probably get rid of her next, right? And Laganja's like, what are you talking
Talking
about?
about we all like Manila. What do you
Uh-huh.
mean?
And he notices he's being filmed and he's like, hey, you're not supposed to be filming me when I'm pulling strings. And I'm like, yes, this is what happens on reality shows.
Right.
This is the
Pulling
stuff we don't see.
strings. And that's what guys like pulling strings. Is that what you call it? Like,
Mhm.
yeah. I kind of enjoy the parody of back of seeing the stuff we're not supposed to see
Mhm.
in reality television, because we all know in reality television the producers are pulling strings and making
Even
stories happen.
more subtle ways, I'm sure, but
Right, they're not just going and saying it, but like they're doing it, and we know they're doing it. But I like that this is just a parody, so we can see like I'm pulling strings, wink, wink. Like I'm just this is. I like that. I like that the
Mhm.
campiness of it all.
PD come up to Claymore and he's like, hey, yeah, so we checked the footage and we Rockham was here, and Rockham was the one that put the peanut butter on the sandwich. So they now have confirmation Rockham has not left the building, and Claymore's like, "What? Go find her."
I'm like, go
uh,
check the walls in the bed under the bed, and like again, like we already checked it. We didn't see her,
mhm.
but
Yeah, and we get a confessional from Laganja, and she's like, "Production is a sinking ship. They hit an iceberg, and now they're halfway under the water." And the producer says, "Can you say something nice about the show?" And she says, "I love Titanic." uh, which is so funny because I was just like a few days ago, I was listening to old episodes of Laganja's podcast, Cleaning Out. And
hmm
she was specifically talking about how she loved Titanic growing up and she watched it 7 times in the movie theater.
oh
So it's funny
wow,
that I just heard her talking about that. And then in the show, she's like, I love Titanic.
she really does.
Yeah.
I
So,
love that.
yeah, that probably was not on the script. It was probably something that came
Probably
from her
something
brain.
she can't. Right.
Mhm. So I appreciate when we get little moments like that.
Absolutely.
Hmm. We see Tammy making something in the kitchen. I'm like, what is this? What kind of brownies are these? And she has, or no,
It's
Laganja's around it.
Laganja.
Yes, yes. But Tammy comes to smell it.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Look, I
Laganja.
As soon as I saw Laganja making brownies, I knew exactly what kind of
Yeah.
brownies they were. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
work.
I had a big idea, and she says she's going to try to bring up the mood
Mm-hmm.
and give people the munchies. And she's got brownies for everybody. Um, so they start eating the brownies. We see them all handed out, and everybody's just chowing down. And then she starts telling what's in the ingredients. And then at the very end, yes, she does disclose that there is weed. I would be so mad. I would be so mad if somebody handed me a brownie and didn't tell me until afterwards that it's a weed brownie, because I've never partaken, and I
Mm-hmm.
would be like, well, you just tricked me into taking weed for the first time.
Know your source, David. Read the room. Like if Laganja ever came up to me and offered me a brownie, I know exactly what kind of brownies these are, and I would just be like, "Girl, no, I'm good. I don't eat those brownies. I know what kind of brownies you have."
Mhm.
Now, if I offered you brownies and then tricked you into wheat, then yes, you should
Yeah.
have all right to be mad because I don't go around talk. But if Logan offers you
Mm,
brownies, we don't eat the brownies because we know
true.
it's
And
probably weed brownies.
yeah, I was concerned for Jujubee because I know Jujubee's sober, but I don't know if it's just sober from alcohol or sober from everything. I'm like,
Hmm.
if she's sober like completely and doesn't partake of weed, that's extra messed up, Laganja. But it is a TV show.
It is TV show. So I'm sure if she is sober, there really was no weed in those brownies. Well,
Mm,
not the one she ate anyway. If she ate any of them.
right. We do get like a bunch of back and forths going on.
Mm-hmm.
First, we see Claymore. He goes into the production room where they do the confessionals, and they ask him to sit down, and he says, whatever I talk about, you cannot use that in the edit.
Right.
So I was like, oh, what's going to come from this conversation? Hmm. Meanwhile, Manila, everybody's getting high, and Manila hears something. She's like, "Are these ghosts that I'm hearing? Is there something in the wall?" Uh,
What is that? Did you hear that? Oh.
yeah.
It's then Lagan's like, why don't we just go upstairs and see?
Didn't Manila have like some sort of story about people living in walls?
Ooh, was it her or was it Juju? Well,
I
no,
don't.
Juju said her house is haunted, but she don't
Mm,
want to talk about it because they whitewatched the show and she don't want them to get mad at her,
yeah,
so she won't talk about it.
yeah. I just watched the People Under the Stairs that movie the other day, and
Mm-hmm.
there was like somebody living in the walls and that. So like immediately, I'm thinking about that movie. Like,
I
okay.
thought, I mean, this is what I found funny about this whole situation because this is supposed to be a parody of like all the reality shows, Big Brother
Hmm.
included, and we know in Big Brother the people are in the walls. We hear on every season how the cast be like, we hear them in the walls just
Hmm.
walking around. We hear phones going off. We hear conversation, things happening in the walls. So it's like now that they're doing this period, like is somebody in the wall? I find that so funny and like okay, but I don't think the house is soundproof. So everything that happens in the house, they hear it in the walls. Like I think it was it just I mean, was it Manila was like I hear Rockham's notification bells
Yes.
go off like all the time.
Right. Yeah. One of her 5 phones.
One of her five phones to hear the notification
Mhm.
ding. So I was like, okay, that's funny. But then I also think were they hearing? I don't know if it was clear. Were they hearing Claymore's conversation because they don't have it's not soundproof, so they can just hear
Hmm.
him in the room talking. But they were just like, oh, what's
I
that?
don't know. I thought it was supposed to be Rockham, but it could be
Maybe
that too.
could be both.
But they do go exploring, as you
Hmm.
alluded to. They go upstairs and they walk into a bedroom, and much to my shock and their shock, there's Jasmine Masters just laying on the bed. And I'm like, Jasmine Masters is in the show? And you don't know Jasmine Masters, but she's a fun character for sure. And how'd you get the brownies?
I mean, she has free reign of the house. I don't know how they
They
never seen
just
her.
started eating them, right?
Maybe there was some left in the kitchen, and she went down the back way, grabbed some, and went back up to her room. I don't know, but
Hmm.
she got some brownies, and all the girls were like, Jasmine. and got
What are
in the
you
bed.
doing
What are you
here?
doing? She's like, oh, I rented this place for a month.
Yeah, she said something was like they were like repairing her
Fixes in
house or
her
something.
house. Right. And so
She's
she
like,
rented the
just
room.
rented out the room. She's just so nonchalant, and Jujubee like gets on the bed and starts like massaging her feet.
She's like, what are you doing with my feet, girl? Like, what? And everybody's just climbing in the bed with her. She's like, oh, okay, okay, girl. Well, I'm gonna need y'all to get out because I'm resting, I'm relaxing. And they're just like, and she's like, and definitely take her, the one grabbing my feet, because what do y'all got going on? What do y'all eating? Like, she is confused.
And
And they're like, are you
Jujubee,
not on the show? And she's like, what show? No, I don't do the show. Mm-mm.
Jujubee even like gets up and like kisses her, and I'm like, this feels improvised too. Did it not feel like, oh, Jasmine wasn't expecting that?
Well, she was like, okay, girl. Like, it was fun. I
It
thought that
was.
was a cute little moment.
It was. And then they all decide to leave her alone, like leave the room. But bitch like takes the biggest brownie off of her plate before she goes. And Jasmine's like, that's why they call you bitch.
It was so funny.
uh,
But she's like, "Ooh, but these brownies good. Eating the crumbs off the
she
plate, just like
was.
these are." I was like, "That's wild."
And bitch was like, if we didn't know Jasmine Masters was renting out a room, we're never gonna find Rockham. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, and Juju's jealous. She's
yeah.
like, that's not fair. Jasmine can come and go as much as she wants. Uh, and this whole time I'm like, what's Claymore saying? When are we gonna get more of that? But we're not there yet.
Mm-mm.
Um, we do see another conversation. Manila is talking to Jasmine, or not to Jasmine,
Juju,
to Jujubee about how they can get out of the house and get some extra money
just
out
more
of the
money.
situation. Mhm.
Because that $100,000 prize package is not appealing to Manila. She's like, prize package. Mm.
Mhm. She seems to have a pretty well thought out plan. She's like, okay, we're gonna have a lawsuit. We're gonna show them that the working conditions aren't great. Blah 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 blah. Oh, and by the way, you're gonna have to trip and fall.
No, no, no. I can't do that. I have more injuries. Too many injuries already. I can't do that.
hmm Finally, we cut back to Claymore, and he is telling the producer that the network is thinking about shutting down the production. They don't like the dailies. So things are not looking good. And I'm like, okay, are we seeing an end date for this show now?
But then, as Jujubee and Manila are talking, we scan over to the window and we see PD is in the window listening. So he immediately runs up to where Claymore is and tells Claymore, hey, you need to listen to this. I need to tell you what's going on. And so Claymore listens. And so he comes downstairs after hearing what PD has told him and was like, all right, enough is enough. We're not having any immunity is out the window. We're gonna
hmm
vote right now. He gathered the ladies like, we're about to vote right now. They're like, we're not even in drag. He was like, it doesn't matter. We're voting right now. They're like, right now? I don't Jacon's just like, I don't have on shoes, I don't have on a jacket. And we talk about voting right now. This is
Right.
crazy. And before all that happens, before they get to vote, we see Jasmine come downstairs and she was like, all right, y'all, I'm about to go on an audition. I'm gonna see you for a real show. I'm gonna see y'all later. And Juju was like, what you got? She was like, yeah, I'm about to go on a real audition. I'm gonna see y'all later. So it's a big old security guard there with a bat. And
hmm
they're like, he was like,
What
oh, you
was
can
his
let
name?
her down.
Doug?
I think
Oh,
so. I don't
something like
remember.
that. I didn't write it down.
But Claiborne's like, oh yeah, no, she's good to go. And they're like, why does she get to leave? And she's like, she can do what she want. And so she gets out the way, and they're like, where did this security guard come from? He was like,
Break
he
a
see
leg,
this
Jasmine.
right. He's like, what'd you say? What did you say? He's like, no, break a leg means like good luck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Manila almost got beat up.
Someone's gonna beat up by Jasmine Masters. But the security guard was there and was like, "You can't get out now, and only
Boris.
she can get out."
Boris is his name. I wrote it down.
Boris, that
Yeah.
sounds about right. But
He looks like a Boris.
but they were a little jealous that Jasmine could come. Jujubee
Mhm.
especially was jealous that Jasmine could come and go as she pleased. So she was like, "No,
Yep.
take me with you." But Boris Stop, sir. Oh, that's later. Anyway,
But Jujubee, she was like, Claymore, why are you taking this so seriously? This is a dumb show. Like,
right.
what does this matter? And we finally get the revelation from Claymore. He says, because I'm broke. He's like, if this doesn't work out, I have to give my butt implants back.
And they're like, oh, not your butt.
No, those are your best
That's your best.
feature.
He's like, I know.
This man, he is willing to degrade himself for this TV show and talk about his butt implants.
It's just, it was wild. So they go vote because Claymore says they have to go vote. So they go vote. And we see these votes being written out. We see,
we see three of them, which is
3 of them for Jujubee.
most of them.
Most of them for one for Jujubee. Well,
Manila and Bitch voted for Jujubee, and then Laganja voted for Bitch, and then Juju just wrote down help. So we don't know what Tammy was doing.
She wrote Juju and drew a B.
Oh, I missed that one then. Okay,
yeah,
so then
she wrote Juju. Everybody voted for Jujubee.
Oh, good. We're going to be done with her storyline of wanting to leave.
Right.
It's over.
It's over. Jujubee gets to go home.
Yeah, she left. Right?
Well,
that's what happened, right?
Yeah, no, because Claymore says, all right, I have the results of 5 amazing queens. Let's see who gets out. And he picks up the first one, never even opens. It's like, Manila Luzon. Manila Luzon. Manila, like, he just doesn't read the votes. And he just says Manila got all the votes and she has to go. And Manila, everybody was like, that's not right. Like, they're like, no, that's not right. We didn't vote for Manila. And Manila was like, oh, I see what this is, but whatever. At least I get to go home. And he was like, Manila, like, he was like, get out. You just go. And Juju was like, no, these are my votes. Those are my votes. This was my elimination. And
she's like, Manila, what about the lawsuit?
And I was like,
yeah, I don't have time
for that. I don't have time for that.
She's like, oh, I'm good. Like, Manila is so chill about the situation.
She's just ready to go too. She's like, yep. And he's like, and Manila, your bags are in your Uber X already. Uber XL? No, just Uber X. It's like, and she's like, okay.
Yeah. Who was it? Oh, it was Bitch Puddin'. It's like, he's really mad about like Manila hooking up with his ex, but it was just hand stuff. Like, I've given BJs to like 5 different producers. Oh, there was another really funny thing earlier. I think Claymore was like saying
she's that my man.
You are the best of the best, even though none of you have won a crown. And Bitch is like, I've won a crown.
Like, for
Juju's like, for what?
Like, she did win.
Right, the erasure of her Dracula.
Like, stop saying she has not won. She won a crown. Like, get off her neck. She's the only one that has won a crown up in here. Like, okay. But yeah, even though Manila, like, it was just hand stuff. Like, I didn't even do anything with him. Like, but Claymore was mad, so Claymore kicked her out.
Yeah.
And then that's when we saw Jujubee run into the door. Take me with you. And Boris was like, She was like, oh, okay.
And everybody just kind of gives up and eats more brownies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get our kind of like end credit scene.
Yeah.
And so we see that same clip that started with Tammy in her bed doing whatever. I thought she was messing with a wig, but it's a doll.
It's a doll.
And then we have like this really unsettling scene while Tammy is sleeping. We see Rackham come in there, and while she's sleeping, and she has scissors with her in a marker or something, and she just starts like drawing on this doll's face, and then she just starts cutting up the hair, and I'm like, this is really unsettling. Why are you doing it?
And then she holds the doll over Tammy, just like, I'm like, what are you doing? It was weird.
You know, Rackham might end up winning by default, like, because we had Silky leave for medical reasons. Manila was like rigged out by Clay. Maybe Tammy's gonna just get freaked out and leave after what happened to her dolls. So maybe Rackham has the right strategy, just kind of like sabotage everybody,
linger around, sabotage, and just stay there and be the last one standing. Like, I guess I win.
Yep.
Maybe. Maybe.
I'm really curious where it could go from here because we have 4 people left in the competition. 2 of them have a pretty clear alliance. So Tammy and Laganja could have power over who goes between Jujubee and Bitch.
Even though Jujubee wants that girl, but they don't want her. But they voted for her this time, so
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah, I guess Claymore has ultimate power, but
Yeah,
we shall see.
we shall see. But that's that.
That's that. We got through this one quickly.
It really was just a lot of funny, goofy, like
Mhm.
always. But
It was a fun one. I thought this was a step up from last week, personally.
yes, agreed, agreed, agreed. I was with that, but it was fun. It's cool. It's still drag house rules. It's still crazy, campy, and we're gonna keep talking about it
Mhm.
until we don't have another episode to talk
Exactly.
about. But
And then
who
we might
knows
go
what
back
happens?
again and rewatch it and then make new podcasts.
We
No,
won't be
probably
doing. Yeah, we
not.
won't. We'll do a parody of this podcast when
Yes.
we rewatch. Okay. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. Anyway, don't hold your breaths. But that's it, y'all. We talked about all that we can, and so we'll be back next week to talk more Drag House rules. Um, we appreciate you spending the time with us, listening to us talk about this crazy campy show. It's fun. It's just a fun excuse to talk about drag, and that's what we're gonna do. But we'll be back next week. Follow us on this channel. Hit the subscribe button. Follow us on all of our other channels. All the links will be in the description below in the link tree. So click on that and click on all of our other channels to follow and subscribe to. Follow us on our audio podcast links. That link is in the description below, as well as our Patreon. Join us in our Patreon. You can follow us on all of our socials as well at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. You can follow David and myself on those same platforms. My Instagram is right there. David's Instagram is right there. And you can also get your merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link is also in the description below. And we're going to get out of here because we're done. So
Yep.
cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Bye.